Throughout the years, many of us have come across games that we've spent hundreds of hours playing with friends and creating memories on.
Go!
Occasionally, some of these games get a little revival of sorts, and it's always extremely fun to go back and relive some of these good times. Titanfall 2 went through that revival process recently. I don't know exactly why people came back to this game, but this was one I missed out on. Played the first game, but somehow Titanfall 2 managed to completely avoid getting installed. I've only heard great things about it, so I was excited to finally give it a play and with a populated multiplayer to boot. With that said, let's split this game up into 3 steps. Step 1, Master Campaign, Step 2, Miscellaneous Cleanup, and Step 3, Multiplayer. Our goal for this campaign playthrough is to get all of the collectibles and finish the game on Master difficulty, minimizing the cleanup we would have to do afterwards. We start the campaign like most other FPS games, with a tutorial. This worked for me because I haven't played a Titanfall game in a long time, and I'm not the biggest fan of Apex Legends, so I'm not used to this type of movement. Pretty soon we arrive at the Gauntlet, and finish our first run of it unlocking the Student for beating Anderson's time. We weren't done with the Gauntlet just yet though, and this next achievement is said by many to be the most difficult achievement in Titanfall 2. To get the achievement becomes the Master, we needed to clear the Gauntlet in under 33.65 seconds. I decided to do this right at the beginning because I felt like I needed to learn the mechanics a bit more before starting up the game. It took me about 26 minutes of learning the movement and grenade placement, and then we did this.
There we go.
Now that we are done with the Gauntlet, we ended the tutorial unlocking the Graduate. We are asked to choose our difficulty, selecting Master of course, and as soon as the game actually started, I learned just how hard Master is going to be.
Alright, scrubs, enough's enough. I'm coming down.
I didn't think that was a door. Wow, man.
After getting through the enemy forces, we get to witness our first Titan fight that unfortunately ends with Lastimosa losing. In the aftermath, Lastimosa tells us to become the pilot of his Titan, known as BT. We go through the area collecting fresh batteries so that we can get out of here. After installing 2 fresh batteries, we end the level and unlock the achievement BT Prime for powering up BT. Our new objective is to meet up with Major Anderson, but he's pretty far away. We need to make our way through enemy territory to get to him, and right at the beginning of the second mission, we have some Titans to take down. During the fight, we destroyed a Titan with our Burst Core, unlocking the achievement Excessive Force. There are a bunch of different Titan loadouts with different weapons and abilities. Each one will have a different core we'll need to use for its own achievement. Right after our big fight, we'll find another Titan loadout. After equipping it, we are ambushed by 2 enemy Titans. We take them both down, using our new salvo core for one of the kills to unlock Fire Everything. Next, we split up with BT for a bit to get through the rest of this building. While making our way to the exit, we are introduced to Kane as he taunts us over the speakers.
Listen up. This is Kane.
A little bit later, we got to a wave defense section. Taking out all of the enemies and moving on will allow us to reunite with BT, and shortly after the reunion, we have to take on Kane, our first boss battle of the game. Kane wasn't really that difficult. He had one other regular Titan to help him out, but his Titan was really slow and easy to hit, so we ended up taking him down on our first try, unlocking the achievement Hot Mess. Before we leave, we steal Kane's helmet radio so that we can listen in on enemy comms.
Would you guys consider jacking off to be a sport?
After escaping the building, we continue on our way to meet up with Major Anderson. Shortly after starting the level, we find another Titan loadout. Not too long after, we would run into some enemy Titans and I would kill one with our new Flame Core for the achievement Flame On. Right after that fight, we find and equip another new loadout. The achievement for this core won't be unlocked for a while though. Right next to our new loadout, we can drop down a bit and find our 10th collectible unlocking Off the Beaten Path. To move on, we need to activate this switch. Instead of doing something useful for us though, it activates a cargo lift that takes BT away from us. We make our way through this new facility to try and get BT back, and as soon as we step on the first moving platform, we unlock the achievement Some Shortcut. We continue killing enemies and jumping from platform to platform, dying occasionally to enemies and the environment. Until we got to this sideways platforming section. After climbing to the top, we unlock the Incepted achievement for climbing up Sideways Town. We continue our climb up, reaching an area where Ash will send waves of enemies to try and kill us. We're introduced to a new enemy in this fight, the Reaper, and by taking down both Reapers she sends at us, we unlock I'm Not Locked In Here With You.
Never disposed of sewage with a toilet before.
I died a couple times trying to escape the dome. But did manage to get out eventually so we could continue on. We found the exit of the building and reunite with BT while surrounded by enemies. After clearing out all of the Titans, we got to our next area where we are confronted by Ash. Ash was a lot more difficult for me than Kane was.
Please, send dudes.
You mean nudes?
No, send dudes. I need all the help I can get.
I found it a bit difficult to keep space between me and her as she can teleport short distances and hits quite hard. We did eventually take her down with the brute loadout for the achievement Dust to Dust and continued on to meet Major Anderson. We run into Anderson shortly after, but he's not looking too good. We take his helmet back to BT, who promotes us to the commander of Operation 217 after Anderson's death. To continue on with the mission, we need to find the other half of Anderson and take the device off of his wrist. This will replace our cloaking, but allow us to travel freely between time. The first thing we did with our new ability to time travel was unlock the achievement It Was Coming Right For Us. While making our way through the IMC base, we run into a hologram of Anderson, unlocking Following the Footsteps. Continuing on, we found another hologram of Anderson and we learned about the Arc through it, a weapon that the IMC wants to use on one of our home planets called Harmony. Our next area was extremely fun. We had to navigate platforms while going through time and kill a bunch of enemies in a building across the way. Right after, we have another really cool section where we need to wall run while switching between time periods to get across this gap. Finally, we had this last drop to do, and at the bottom, we found another Anderson hologram, this one showing us how he died. After gathering all the intel we can, we make our way back to BT so we can kill the remaining enemies in the past, extend the bridge, and scan the Arc. We also found the Ion Titan loadout here. This finishes the mission and unlocks secret plans for completing Operation 217. Since we've completed our mission, we need to get back to command. We find some stranded allies that are trying to power up a beacon so that they can get out of here, but don't have an arc tool to do it. We go through the building and steal an arc tool from a Marvin, unlocking the achievement Unlicensed Nuclear Accelerator. On our way to bring back the arc tool, we find our 25th collectible and unlock Collector. Once we made it back, we turned on the beacon, unlocking Calling CQ. Unfortunately, there's a module that's broken on the beacon, and now we need to replace that as well. Similar to when we had to find batteries for BT, we need to kill some enemies and do some platforming to get a replacement module. During this section, you can use the arc tool to turn stalkers into allies, and we got 2 achievements here for doing just that. Pied Piper for activating a stalker rack, and Robot Army for having 6 friendly stalkers at one time. At the end of the platforming section, we got our module unlocking 4 bars. We backtrack a bit and BT throws us up to the beacon. At the top of the beacon, we replace the module and the beacon changes positions, dropping us down, where BT catches us and we continue the mission. We need to get back to our stranded allies to power up the beacon again, but on the way we are ambushed by a group of Titans. Using our laser core to destroy 2 of the Titans, we unlocked Face Melter, and right after clearing out the Titans, Richter and his Titan drop down right in front of us. but I've learned just how fast they can kill me from the previous boss fights. Using our ion loadout, we use the rocks as cover and use our laser core whenever possible to take him down. We also ran up to him for a melee execution for the achievements Coup de Grace and See You at the Party. After our fight, we regroup with our allies and make contact with Commander Sarah Briggs, organizing an extraction. When we get back to base, Sarah Briggs wants to reassign BT to a different pilot, but BT is a real one and keeps us around.
Objection. Cooper is my pilot.
We've tracked the Ark's energy signature to an IMC base on Typhon. This is probably my favorite mission in the game. I'm a big fan of mech combat and we got a lot of that here. We're dropped out of an airship with a bunch of other Titans, and after taking down a wall of artillery, it turns into a Titan battlefield. I use this opportunity to knock out a couple achievements, the first one being Angel of Death for killing a Titan with the Flight Core. The second achievement we unlocked was Hat Trick for killing 3 Titans with 1 core use. Just past the wall, we enter a base looking for the Ark, but all we find is more Titans. This is good news for me, as I got a Titan kill with the Sword Core for
I have the power!
Taking down all the Titans in our path, we make our way to a lift that takes us up to another Titan loadout. This one has a railgun, and it hits really hard. We once again take down all the Titans in our path, while traveling to an IMC ship, the Draconis. Upon arrival, we do manage to locate the Ark for the achievement Precious Cargo, but we are too late and the enemies have already loaded it onto the Draconis. With the Ark currently flying away from us, we decide to get in a ship of our own and chase it down. While in pursuit, a new enemy Titan flies by and shoots us all down. In our free fall, we landed on another ship. BT threw us to another moving ship, and we jumped from that ship to the Malta. On board the Malta, our new objective is to take over the bridge and commandeer the ship. Getting to the bridge means fighting through the entire ship, and our first area is the turret platforms. Taking out each group of enemies and each turret will allow some allies to get aboard the ship with me. Our next stop is a big open area with a lot of enemies, but now that we have some allies with us, we make quick work of this section. Once all of the enemies are cleaned up, we go up some stairs and breach some windows to get to the bridge. Hacking the controls of the Malta, we fly as close as we could to the Draconis, and then BT comes to pick us up. Before we could do anything, we ran into our next boss fight, Viper. This is the same Titan that shot us down earlier. I didn't find this boss too difficult. Using the Ion loadout, I took out the basic Titans around him and used my laser core to do some big damage. We shot down Viper and tried to get to the Draconis, but Viper came back in a final attempt to stop us.
I live, bitch!
In this scuffle, Viper rips off one of BT's arms, but BT manages to rip off the hatch of Viper's Titan, and we take him down with a firearm for the achievement Defanged. After our boss fight, BT will open a hatch for us, and just below us we will find the Ark.
We can figure out how to tap it unlimited now.
We steal the Ark by putting it in BT's cockpit, unlocking the achievement The Ark. Unfortunately, we aren't able to escape, as the ship is too damaged and about to crash. Instead of getting the Ark to safety, BT protects us from the crash. When we regain consciousness, we realize that we've been captured by Bliss, the leader of the mercenaries we've been fighting this whole game. Bliss tries to persuade us to hand over the Ark, but we refuse. BT would open the hatch in an attempt to get Bliss closer and kill him to end all of this. Unfortunately, it doesn't go as planned, and Sloan destroys BT while taking the Ark away. We wake up again and see a destroyed BT, but on our way out, he calls out to us. He tells us to finish the mission and gives us his Seer Kit, containing a smart pistol, a data knife, and BT's AI core. Using the data knife, we hack a door so we can get out of here, and with the smart pistol, this level was a piece of cake. As soon as we exit the facility, Briggs let us know that there's a Titan waiting for us. We call in the Titan, unlocking the achievement Titanfall, and put BT's AI core into the Titan so we can get back to work. This new Titan will also come with our last Titan loadout for the achievement Jack of all trades. Using our new loadout, we've got a lot of Titans to take out ahead of us. We quickly filled our core meter and got a kill with it, unlocking our final core kill achievement, Aimbot. After that achievement popped, we still needed to destroy like 15 Titans, and then as soon as we are even remotely close to our objective though, they have to throw us a boss fight. This is Sloan, our final boss fight of the game. It's unfortunate that we don't get to take down Blisk in this game.
You should kill yourself.
But I'll settle for Sloan as she is the one that destroyed our original BT. I died once here, but with the new Legion Titan loadout, this fight was pretty easy, and once we take down Sloan, we unlock the achievement No Salvage. Before we can remove the arc from the weapon, it is fired at Harmony. The blast overloads BT for a moment, and Blisk will give us an Apex Predators card and says that he won't kill us before he takes off. BT begins restarting his systems so that we can finish this mission, and launches both of us into the fold weapon. Before we reach the core, BT takes us out of the cockpit and throws us in the air as we watch him sacrifice himself to destroy the fold weapon. Rest in peace, BT, you were a real one to the end. The explosion of the fold weapon causes a bunch of debris to start flying, and we use this debris to climb our way up to our extraction, earning the achievement, the Real Pilot's Gauntlet. On our way back to base, Briggs tells us that a lot of people owe their lives to us and BT, before telling the pilot to bring us back home. Before the final cutscene plays, the achievement Legendary Pilot popped for beating the game on Master difficulty, as well as the achievements for regular and hard difficulties. Our final cutscene will tell us about the future of Cooper in this ongoing conflict, before cutting to the credits. Overall, I thought this game was absolutely amazing. I wish the story was longer because I wanted to play more Titanfall. I do think there weren't enough situations where you needed to take down a bunch of Titans with BT early on, but the endgame levels gave me exactly what I wanted. I have no real complaints on the game mechanics, controls, anything like that. I just wish the game was a bit longer. We still had some Titanfall to play though, so let's get started on the cleanup. We still have 8 achievements we need to clean up in the campaign. I collected like 90% of the collectibles on our first playthrough, but missed 3 at the beginning of the game that we needed to go back and get. The first one is in the training gauntlet. Right at the end of the course, there's a collectible up on a rock. The other 2 were on the level Blood and Rust. Right at the beginning of the level, we need to get up this slope while fighting some Titans. Since this was on easy, none of our allies died, and we unlocked the achievement Close Shave for keeping our allied Titans in one piece. Shortly after, we collected our last 2 collectibles, unlocking every nook and cranny. As soon as I read the descriptions for these achievements, I knew of the perfect place to get these. Since the last level gives you the smart pistol, you don't need to aim for these, you can just slide or wall run and pull the trigger to unlock them. With those 2 easy ones out of the way, we loaded up the level BT-7274. During our first encounter with enemies while searching for batteries, we used our cloak and took out a guard with a stealth takedown for the Apex Predator achievement. Our next 2 achievements are on the level Trial by Fire. For these, we need to destroy a Titan as a pilot and rodeo an enemy Titan. This should be pretty easy because there are like 15 Titans here to take out. It took me a couple tries, but we did eventually get both done at the same time by jumping on a Titan and removing its battery, unlocking Cowboy Up and You Can Be My Wingman Anytime. Our final achievement to clean up is Annihilation, and once again we're going to the last level of the game for this one. Towards the end of the level, when you need to crouch through the narrow hallway with your Titan, we waited for all of the enemies to group up and used our smart core to shoot them all without missing, unlocking the achievement.
We're number 1 in violence.
The cleanup went really smoothly. With those achievements taken care of though, it's time to move on to multiplayer. Our first 2 multiplayer achievements are very simple and we took care of them almost immediately. The first was Lock and Load for customizing one of our loadouts, and the other was Free Association for joining a network. We only have 1 achievement left for this grind now, and is for winning a multiplayer match. Luckily, Titanfall 2 multiplayer has a lot of people returning right now for reasons still unknown to me. We got pretty lucky and had a decent team, winning our first multiplayer game for the So It Begins achievement and for our new ribbon. I know I've already said this, but this game was absolutely amazing. I'm sure if I played this game during its release, I would have put in a couple hundred hours on the multiplayer, but for now, getting this ribbon is enough for me. The story is absolutely amazing, the multiplayer was pretty fun for the short time I played it, and the fact that this did not get a sequel just off of the campaign alone blows my mind. I'm hoping even with Apex Legends doing so well, Respawn will eventually come back to this brilliant series they have and make Titanfall 3. As for the future of these videos, I've been trying to think of a way to get you guys involved in picking the games I play for these videos, so feel free to drop game recommendations in the comments and on Twitter. That's going to be it for this video. We'll see you guys in the next one.